everyone, it's Jess again, and we are now going to be talking about another game that I play that I think is amazing and great for you to find your next hostesses as well as your next team member. I've been playing this from the very beginning of my business, and it got me parties booked like crazy, and I found new team members. It printed out kind of weird, but this is, you can actually, it's called Recruiting Superstar, and if you are part of our Team Make It Happen group, you can find this on Make It Happen Tools website. It is for only our group, so there is a password and an ID. So if you are a part of our group, you can email me and ask for that password and ID. Okay, so first of all, at a party, I wanted to make this opportunity to share with you another little thing that I do that's kind of fun for our guests. And this helps market your products. At the party, I put inside the bathroom, I have like a cute little, especially it's the holidays, I put like a cute little, depending on what you can do something smaller, this is all I had right now, a little gift bag, and I put on here, just make it nicer, I just did it really fast. It says, "You win, bring this to Jess to see what you won." So obviously you put your name, and the reason why is this is right in front, the Layers hand soap. You're going to want to bring one for their bathroom, especially if they've got like Bath and Body Works or something. You want to take that out, and you want them to be using your soap. So when they're washing their hands, they're like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." So the first person that goes in the bathroom and washes their hands is going to see this. So, and then you can tease them, be like, "Oh yay, you washed your hands." Be like, do they smell amazing? And so people usually laugh and they go, "Oh my God, yeah, actually they really do." So, but we all know that Layers, once they wash their hands, we don't have to tell them to smell their hands. As they're washing, they can smell it. So they'll fall in love. And then they get excited already, like before the show even starts. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I won something." And then you could do whatever you want. It could be an actual hand soap that they won, and you just make them come out to tell you that they won. And so that's how you can start your party off, is by educating them about the hand soap if you want. Because I will tell you, you're going to laugh, because sometimes the whole night goes by and people go into that bathroom and they don't come out with a gift. And you're like, "Man, all these people don't wash their hands." So it's kind of funny. Anyways, I always bring an extra plug-in, and I put it in the bathroom. And I put a scent, maybe the scent of the month, something, because that's where they're going to smell the fragrance the most, and keep the door closed if all possible. Because when they open that door, they're going to be just indulged with amazing fragrance. So, and then they get to see how it's used, okay? So you'll turn it on, obviously. But just remember that you have it in there, because you don't want to forget it, that it's in there. What I learned at the fragrance training at Director's Boot Camp, the fragrance specialist told us, and this is something that I was going, almost a year and a half into my business and had no clue. When you have warmers going in the same room that you're having your guests smell the scents, it can dilute the fragrance that they're actually smelling. So I encourage you not to have fragrance going in the room. Now, they will say, "Well, why don't you have any Scentsy going?" Now, depending on the room that you're going to be having the table, that's why hostess coaching is so important. You know what their home looks like. So you can say, okay, well, if I put a Scentsy warmer in their foyer of their house so they can smell it when they first come in, but then I'm going to set up the testers in a different room, that's okay. But just try not to have a warmer going in the same exact room that is going to overbear the scent, because then it kind of makes them hard to smell the true scent. So what I always do is suggest, if you don't have separate rooms and you just have a small room to work with, put it in the bathroom and say, "Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. You get a card." The reason why is because I don't want you to dilute your fragrance while you're smelling over there. And then you can go, but if you go into the bathroom, you're going to smell how amazing Scentsy is. And it gives them just a glimpse of what their house is going to smell like. I also always have a room odor out inside the bathroom of their party room. The reason why, I will tell you, sometimes I forget, but this is something that I try to encourage everybody to do, and I try to remember, reason why is because the odor out is listed in just a small description in the catalog. And so this way you can introduce it to them and say, this gets the stinkies out, and then you can have your plug-in to put the pretty fragrance in. And then you can say these come in every fragrance. So if you want, you can match your plug-in scent to this just to make it a little bit stronger if there's some smelliness going on in there. But this takes the stink out, and then that will put the pretty fragrance. But it gives you an opportunity to talk about it. Now, what I do is I link the room spray, and I tell them how people used to spray themselves with room spray, and because they wanted to smell like Scentsy, and then it links me to talk about Layers products. I share a little story that I learned in 2011 convention with Heidi Thompson introducing Layers. She goes, when I found out that people were spraying themselves with this when it's pure essential oils, I was like, oh no, you can't put that under your body. You can't put it on your clothes because it will stain. So she's like, I guess we need to get products for the body. And that's how she started thinking we need to do Layers. And that's how Layers was introduced. And then you can link that to your body hand soap that the lady in the bathroom just won. And you can talk more about your Layers product. Okay, so with that being said, I have a clipboard with stuff on here. I have a sample of the scent of the month. I have I have this, and I always have a Sharpie, not a regular pen, because you're not going to be able to see it from if it's a big room and they're across the room. You're not going to be like, what's your name? What's that say? It's the same thing as saying, who are you? So you want a nice, bright, you know, and do it in capital so you can see. See, you could see that from here. So then you'll be in plain view. But I write it for them just like my other thing. But on this packet, I have a drawing slip so they can enter my door prize and a drawing, as well as it helps you get more information if they don't end up filling out the top completely. Hopefully they will. There's another game you can play for that, which helps me, and I'll share with that later. But this right here is what they're going to write their fragrances on, okay? And when they smell later on. But what I tell them is we're going to play a game. So flip that, it's right on your clipboard, flip it over, and then they have something to write on. And I always have a pen connected to the clipboard for them. I don't have it on here right now, but pretty much what I do is I just have it clipped just like this. Okay, I got these at Staples for $1. So just check, I mean, they're $2 right now. So just make sure you pay attention to the sales that go on. And I got 30 of them, you know, and I've had these since I started 3.5 years ago. I always put a label on them. So this one doesn't have one. I guess I'm a liar. But I think this is one of my friends that I borrowed, actually. Anyways, I put a label right here because you want them to see your name as much as possible. So that's why it's also important for you to have a name badge on of some sort. If you don't own one, make one up for yourself. Plop it on. You want them to not feel embarrassed to say, I have a question. I don't know your name, though. They can go, oh, Jess, I have a question. And they feel, because you don't want them to feel embarrassed at all in this party, because that makes them less connected to you. So the more confident you can give them, more confidence, and help them build that by making them feel aware of things, meaning they know your name. They don't feel like, oh God, what was her name? I didn't listen very well when she introduced herself to me. So this really helps. This is a great investment for $12, and just make sure you put it in the same place every night when you take it off, because you'll lose it. I went through that. I've been through like 10 until I learned that lesson. Anyways, okay. So you show them that on the clipboard that they have a sheet like this. Please turn it over and take your pen, and we're going to play a game. And then they get to have something nice and hard to write on, and they're comfortable. They don't have to be like, ah. Some people use binders like this. Excuse me, if you don't want to buy a clipboard, and you get two, you can cut it right here, and it's a bigger one, and then they cut it on the other side, and they get two clipboards with a little pocket, and it's something hard. It's like a lap board. So however you want to use, whatever you want to do. Anyways, okay. Then we play the recruiting game. So, and then basically, I'm not going to go through this because you can read it. Honestly, don't feel bashful for reading it. I have my little Scentsy Bible right here that I bring with me everywhere. I pretty memorize this basically, but I still read it because I want my potential new consultants to see that I've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I still need help to read out of this. So they can say, oh, I can do that. I can read a party game. Because you don't want them to think like, oh my God, I can never do what she just did. So I still, even though I know the game, I still read it from this big book right here, okay? So you're gonna go through each one, and I'm not gonna read them to you as the way I do with them, because you're just gonna read them. 1 point for each party you have attended over the past, over the last 2 years. 2 points for each party you have attended in the last 6 years. 3 points for each party you have hosted. 4 points if you would host a party if you could just take a basket to work. 5 points for each party you have hosted in the last 6 months. 3 points if anyone has approached you about a direct sales business. Double those points if you seriously considered it. And then 5 points if you have been a representative for another direct selling company. Now, think about that. What are all these questions doing? What they're doing is they're pulling out all the people that like to go to parties, like to host parties, have been a consultant of another company before, maybe still one, or maybe thought about it but never have. And so the people with the most points are the people of all of the above. So you're going to say, oh my gosh, Cindy, you got 93 points. What company have you been with? And they're most likely going to say, oh, I sold Mary Kay like 20 years ago. Or I'm still a consultant of, Party Light, and you're going to know about your customers and get future clients. So then they're going to say, oh, I love doing parties. I've done Tupperware. I've done Mary Kay. I've done those fun parties. Be like, okay, so let's let you have a Scentsy party. So what I always do with this game is I have the top 2 winners have a bag like this, just a cute little fun bag, and what they win is inside is going to be just like a scent circle, but in the top one has a travel tin, and the second winner, runner up, I guess, is a scent circle, but inside each one is a Hostess packet for them to take home, because they're most likely a Hostess as well as a join packet. Because the person that's if you start talking to them when you're checking them out, you can say, so Susan, 93 points, really? And you've never become a consultant? So which one have you considered? She'll be like, oh gosh, yeah, well, I considered Mary Kay or whatever they say. And say, okay, so what stopped you from joining? And they're going to tell you what stopped you. And it's very likely what stopped them from joining those other companies. We're going to be able to rest assured their resistance that they don't have to worry about that with our Scentsy business. So whether like Mary Kay, no pun in nothing, I'm not talking bad about Mary Kay, but you have to purchase your product. You have to. They want you to have a stock. A lot of people don't have the money to have upfront stock. And so that intimidates them, or it kind of cripples them in their business because they don't have the stock that their customers want. So with us, we don't have to have a stock. We can order as the people order. And that's a big bonus. And then you don't have to have overhead, and it helps you be more successful with your party planning company. So, but this draws out for you to find out who would be a potential consultant, hostess, and you can learn about what stopped them from joining, why are they a consultant today, how are they doing with their business, and you may end up learning some things because they're a consultant of another brand, and they'll be like, oh, I really like the way you did this party, and you know what, let me add something to it to help you. And if you're a new consultant that doesn't have a lot of strategy yet, you may end up weeding those people out, and they'll be like, you know what, you really did a great job actually, but let me give you a little tip that might help you out. And that's what this party game can do for you. So make sure that you are prepared to find your next consultants by having Hostess packets, join packets. Have a plan. How many people am I going to find to join my team in this business, to bless with this business opportunity at this party? So if you want to find 4 people, then have 4 join packets ready. If you want to book 4 parties, then have 4 Hostess packets ready. But these games are what going to read out the people that are most likely to host a party with you, whether it's just a basket party. Now, these questions, you can say, did anybody get any points, 4 points for a basket party? It's very likely that question is going to create the question. Somebody's going to say, okay, what's a basket party? Thank you for asking. Even while you're playing the game, they'll interrupt and say, what's the basket party? And then they're going to say whether they want to give themselves points or not. So you can educate on what a basket party is at that time. It's ideal to have a basket party ready to go because you can hand it to them right there and say, oh, let me send it with you. You can go take it on Monday to work with you. And